West Virginia is set to host the Kansas Jayhawks. Who's going to come out on top? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to your favorite podcast, the Hard Edge Podcast. We're happy to be back here today, and today we're going to be previewing West Virginia versus Kansas Week 10 college football game. So going into this game, before we start, thank y'all for all the support y'all have been giving me lately. I really enjoy looking at all the comments and the likes y'all been giving me. I just wanted to take a time out of my day to thank y'all for all that, and just thank y'all so much. I'm so grateful for everything. But let's get straight into it. Into this prediction. In my prediction, if y'all have missed, I've previewed 9 games so far from West Virginia's football season. I go into depth breakdown on the other team's players and our players and the key matchups in the game. I did 9 of them so far. We're going to the 10th game and 2 more left. So if y'all haven't watched those, go back and watch them. But into this game, we're 5-4. I have in my predictions 4 losses. So my predictions: we lost to Arizona, Virginia, Texas Tech, and TCU so far. And so that's 4 losses down in the books, 5 wins, so almost a little bit better than 500. In my predictions, I have us going 500, 6-6, with 7-5 with a bowl win. No, 8-5 with a bowl win. But into this game, the Kansas game, this is a really important game for us. This should get us bowl eligibility if we win, and not bowl eligibility if we lost. But Kansas didn't bring in any 4-stars out of the portal. They had one of the worst recruiting classes in the Big 12. They were not even top 8. West Virginia's had the 21st best recruiting class compared to Kansas's 52nd best. So that's a big difference. That's almost a 20-point difference. So that's a big difference, and I think we're definitely winning this game. A sneak peek to my prediction here. They lost 2 really good players on their offense. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., wide receiver last year, who led them in receptions and yards, and Jalen Daniels, a QB that went to the NFL. So 2 of their star players and leaders on the offense, they lost. They have a lot of quarterback uncertainty this year. Since Jalen Daniels left, it's leaving a quarterback battle with Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall, that are 2 kind of unproven quarterbacks at the Power 4 production, but have college football experience. Luckily, it's not 2 freshmen, so that's good, but I'm not too worried about their offense. Something that makes me want to think that West Virginia is going to win this game even more is they have an entirely rebuilt defensive line. Kansas lost their entire defensive line to the graduation and portal, and with bringing in unproven depth and new transfers is a major stopping point for this Kansas team. So I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch for this West Virginia offense. West Virginia offense is going to be running wild in this game. But they do have a really good, experienced linebacker room with players like Trey Lathan and others. They brought in some good guys from recruiting and transfer portal, some good guys from freshman classes, and I think their linebacker room is really good. Trey Lathan was a star at West Virginia. It would have been really good for us to keep him last year. It would have helped us a lot. Also, they have a lot of returning experience at the secondary level. Cornerbacks, Austin Alexander, Jaden Todd, and return alongside safety Taylor Davis. I feel like Kansas has always been a really good team in coverage. There was a guy that had like the nickname Mamba or something a few years back when we played them in 2024. It was 2024, but they had like 2 really good players, and they called them like the Batman and Robin or something, because they didn't allow any like big plays. I thought that was really cool. So I've always thought that Kansas has always been a pretty good coverage team. Nothing too crazy, but always decent. Onto the offensive side of the ball for Kansas, they brought in an experienced back, Dylan Edwards. His best rushing season was in 2024, where he rushed for over 500 yards and averaged 7 yards a carry, which is really good. That's 2 carries and his first down. That's kind of like what Jaheim White did in 2023. He averaged like 6.5 yards a carry. But this was with a lot less carries than Dylan Edwards had. He only had 500 yards, which isn't that impressive. I don't think their offense will be anything to scare anyone in the country this year. I think it'll be bottom half of the Big 12, maybe even bottom half of the country. I don't think they brought in any talent, nothing too crazy. I don't think they have enough star players to run their offense. Usually you see in an good offense, an elite offense, you have 1 or 2 or 3 and even 4 star players in their offense. You don't see any star players in this offense other than Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards, I don't even think is that good. If your top rushing season's 500 yards, that's not that impressive. Cam Cook had like 2 times that amount, even 3 times that amount last year. So if they're excited about this Dylan Edwards guy, I don't think they should, because Cam Cook, the transfer from Jacksonville State, just absolutely lapped him. Doesn't even compare to Cam Cook. Dylan Edwards, he only had 500 yards. That's what Cam Cook had his freshman year. So this isn't that impressive. Dylan Edwards, it's not going to be anything to worry about. I think even our rebuilt defensive line, I think we'll be able to handle Dylan Edwards. Also in this game, I think our offense is going to run wild in this game. I think we'll have multiple 75-plus yard rushers versus this barely new built KU front 7. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. We're gonna see Cam Cook breaking tackles, stiff arm, and then we're gonna see Christopher Talley on the outside, 70-yard touchdown run. And then we're gonna have it's gonna be the fourth quarter, and we're gonna have all these backups in. I'm calling it. Our offensive line is gonna absolutely maul the Kansas defensive line. Kansas fans, I bet you, will be out of Morgantown and halfway to the airport by the fourth quarter. So I'm predicting this game to go be what is it going to be? What's the score to be, Evan? 38-17. West Virginia wins. Bowl eligibility. We're going bowling. West Virginia makes the bowl for the first time in 2 years. So that's going to be fun to go. I hope right now I'm pretty sure multiple magazines. I got some magazines for my birthday. I've been reading them. They have West Virginia predicted to go to the Independence Bowl against Kennesaw State. So that's pretty cool. I would rather play a power conference team, but if we're making a bowl, I'm happy. Because that's since I've been a West Virginia fan, I've only seen us go to 1 bowl game, 2 bowl games, but we've only seen 1 actual, meaningful bowl game. That was the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I went to that game with my dad. I had a ton of fun, and I've just been dreaming of us to go to a bowl game ever since that day. I really hope we make a bowl game this year, because I think this roster is really good. It's going to be a fun offensive team to watch. It's going to be one of the most fun offensive we had since Pat White. Steve Slayton, I think, at least at the rushing attack. With Michael Hawkins, the dual threat quarterback, and Cam Cook and Amari Latimer, the 2-run duo. So I think this game is going to be a blowout, and we might win by more than this. It kind of might look like how we played against Kansas last year when we went to Lawrence. I think the crowd will definitely have effect on this game. Hopefully the fans are still showing up. I don't know when this game's going to be played. I'm pretty sure it's late November maybe, or early November. So there could be snow, hopefully. We're hoping for snow this year. I know it's not good for the players, but I think that'd be really cool on TV. Kind of like what we saw in Pat White's retirement. There was snow. It was white out. It was beautiful versus USF. So 38-17, I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch. This is the ones that I'm really excited about because we have a chance to blow out a team. I hope Rich Rod just puts salt to the wound. If we're up by 40 or 30, keep pounding. Keep pounding the ball. Keep running it into the end zone. Let's drive up the score. I do show no mercy. I hate when teams do that, even in basketball, when there's 10 seconds left and they just we're a minute left and they dribble it out and then take a stupid shot. Just grind it. And then the other team gets mad if you try to steal the ball and dunk it. That's what I'm going to do if I'm down in a basketball game or a football game. I'm going to try to the last whistle. So I hope Rich Rod puts it in the wound. Puts the salt in the wound. If you're down on the scoreboard, that's your fault. It's not our fault. So that's my view on that topic. So Rich Rod had his first press conference today. I really enjoy watching these press conferences. I've been looking forward since the spring to watch this press conference, and he didn't say much, so it didn't put my desires at much of a high level, but Still some stuff we're going to talk about. It's going to be really quick, just short. We're going to do this at the start. I kind of like I was doing predictions a few months back. This will kind of be our daily thing we're going to do, and just previewing and reviewing the press conferences. So I have 5 bullet points here to say about what he said. So the first thing we got is he says all the people on the roster right now are going to stay, and they're not going to go away. So why I say that is there's a lot of lawsuits happening right now for players like Fred Perry, Jason Chambers, and other players on WVU that were here last year that could come back because of the 5-for-5 rule. So Rich Rod said we're not going to replace players. So he says if you were here in the summertime, you were here in the spring, you're going to stay. So he's not going to replace anybody. I think that's really, really mature of Rich Rod, because some coaches would do that. If there's a better player, they would replace. But he's being loyal and letting the players stay. If they knew and thought going into the spring and summer, like, I'm going to play, and then somebody replaces you, how would you feel? So I think that's a good thing Rich Rod said. But he says there's multiple spots on the offense and defensive sides of the ball there's opening spots. So we wouldn't have to replace anybody. We could just fill in those spots. So I'd be really happy I'm pretty sure Jason Chambers or that other cornerback is coming, but he's coming in like 2 weeks, so that wouldn't be much help. Hopefully he's doing some workouts in the off season so he can stay in shape. He also says the biggest area of improvement is his culture and hard edge mentality. It's really hard to install the hard edge mentality, just like this hard edge podcast. Probably not as hard as I work on this hard edge podcast. It's much harder to be a college football player. They put in so much work. But the hard edge mentality is basically just work hard, be tough, physical, don't slump on plays, don't just play your heart out. So it's really hard for Rich Rod to put this into hard edge mentality for the Steelers team. And he said it wasn't as good as a practice as he assumed. He thought we were in Rich Rod shape going into this first practice, but by the end of the practice he said, nope, not Rich Rod shape. And also Rich Rodriguez, our third thing we're going to say, he said that Michael Hawkins is one of the fastest guys on the team, which is a good sign because on the tape, he looks like one of the fastest guys on the team. So that's a really good sign for our dual threat and hopefully our starting quarterback. I assume he should just release it already because everybody knows that's going to be the starter. I was reading a magazine a few days back. I'm pretty sure it was Sports News magazine. I'll post it or put it in the description, but they had Scotty Fox as the starter, which was really surprised me because you don't see anybody having Scotty Fox as the starter. I thought that was really interesting. What do y'all think about that? I definitely have Michael Hawkins as the starter. I don't know why they would put that. Maybe this was a earlier magazine before all the hype, but they also had Michael Hawkins as the backup quarterback. So maybe they know something about Scotty Fox that we don't. Maybe Scotty Fox somehow runs a 4.2 now and has a rocket arm. So maybe that happened during the off season. But right now, Michael Hawkins is still my starter. And on to our last thing, Rich Rodriguez says that the players on their team, there's a few that he says that can play both sides of the ball as long as they're fast enough and strong enough. The only player he mentioned here was Matt Sigg. So is that kind of teasing that he's going to play both sides of the ball? Because in high school, Matt Sigg played, I'm pretty sure, running back, quarterback, and wide receiver, and safety. Not sure about running back, but I'm pretty sure he did quarterback, wide receiver, and safety. So that would be cool to watch. Kind of like Travis Hunter. I don't think he's going to be as good as Travis Hunter. I actually think Matt Sigg is going to be a bust. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't think he's going to be good. I just think he's too cocky. He was committed to Penn State, and then he just flipped. And when he was doing his hat ceremony or whatever, he wasn't even said anything nice about West Virginia. All he said was, I wanted to play both sides of the ball, and that's about all he said. So my prediction on Matt Sigg this year is he's going to get to play both sides of the ball for the first 3 games, and then somebody else is going to take a spot that's much better and more experienced. So, and then he's going to get mad and transfer out next season. Hopefully that doesn't happen because I think he's good at safety. So, thank y'all for watching. leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me your thoughts about the podcast today. I thought this was a pretty good one, pretty fun one. So thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all have a great day, and cue them country roads. Peace.